Yes, 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 yes. Who are you?
Yeah.
How'd you get on my thing? How'd you get here?
I just hit allow on all 3 prompts.
On all three.
I didn't know what the third even meant. I'm like, I better just hit allow. And
They're
here we
cheering
are.
for you. You hear them cheering? Yeah,
Totally.
better. Getting the joy and the pleasure and the excitement to talk to a long time homie. I think we got 20 years at least. I think we got at least 20 years,
Oh,
maybe
I'd say
over
more.
20 years.
Dude, I was reflecting on the first time I met you. I was 19.
Okay.
And it was at a Fort Myers, Florida show with Plus One, and you were in the back room. And I don't think I ever told you this. I
What?
was freaking out. You were a big deal back. Like I'm a Christian music fan. I grew up a Christian music fan. So when I knew right away who you were, and I tried to play it so cool.
Whoa.
So had to have been a long time because I don't care now. But
That luster
back
wore
in-
off. That
yeah,
luster
back
wore
in
right
the day, I
off.
was like, oh my gosh, that's Mr. 5-2.
Ah, man, now that is slightly coming back to me. I feel like maybe we were in the parking lot, or maybe you were in the van. And why were you at the Plus One show? Were you opening up? Were you just
Yeah,
hanging?
we were opening. Yeah.
Okay, so it must have been at First Assembly. That must have been like the Plus One's heyday. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that was the tour. We stole all their fans, and they literally gave us a career.
Thanks, guys, wherever you are today.
Thanks so much, Nate Cole, Nathan Walters, Gabe Combs, wherever you're at.
Any Nates,
Jamie
any
Davis.
sort of Nates, Jamie Davis. Oh man, so we're talking. It's got to be before 2005.
I think it was 2005.
Okay,
Oh no,
right
it was
around
2004. It was 2000 because it was right before Letters to the President came out. So
okay,
yeah.
So we're talking 2004-ish. The year is I'm about 4 years
Carry
in.
the One.
Yeah, and Plus One kind of
years.
runs the landscape at the time. For those who don't know who that is, this was the alternative to the Backstreet, to those guys, New Kids on the Block, NSYNC. Yeah, they
If
were
you like Backstreet Boys and you like NSYNC, you're gonna love Plus One. You know?
That's right. I don't even know if I knew the guys yet then. Maybe I had. Maybe. I don't know. I do very remember you were a nimble little elf in the back of the van. That's kind of what I remember. I remember you said some quippy little statements, and I'm like, I like this guy right out the gate. There's no question.
Well, not much has changed.
He's a quipper. He's got quips.
Yeah.
He's got wit. He's got a thing I love. I know you're back in Canada now. Are you still in the Peterborough area? Are you up in the Toronto's? Okay.
Yep. Back to my homeland.
Yeah. How good did that feel to get off American dirty soil?
Dude, you know what? The whole time I was on the road, I just wanted to get back here.
Yeah.
And then I went to Franklin, Tennessee for the first time in like 12 years last winter.
What was that like?
I was like, dang, I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing. Because it never felt like home being there, but now I'm away from it. I'm like, it kind of feels like home.
It's like going back. It's going back to your boarding school. It's like going back to your high school. That was your international high school. Your Hogwarts. That was your Hogwarts. You went away to Hogwarts in America and came back none the wiser, maybe.
And when one door opens, another Gryffindor closes. Or you know what I mean? I just want to.
Actually, I really don't. I've never read the books. I've never seen one of the movies.
That's because you're a good Christian.
I am. I try to obey the Lord in Second Opinions, chapter 5, verse 2.
You don't want to embellish in witchcraft and sorcery.
No. But the only thing I really have a reference for is The Office, when he's like, the what do you call the what are the Gorgons? What are they called? What are the animal? The
I don't know.
Beast? It doesn't matter. We've
digressed. Isn't that Wizard of Oz? Gargoyles?
More like the Rizzard of Oz, because you were rizzing it up back in the day. You were the Risley Bear.
That's right.
You were a Rizzle man. Anyway, we've already gone so far off the path. We're not even on a path.
I don't even know what path you're taking me on. I'm just hanging on, bro.
I just miss you, man. I miss our exchanges. I miss our.
We probably should have caught up before we went live, but
no. They're gonna get it all in real time.
Okay.
So Jason Dunn of Hawk Nelson is here. Many tours. I was thinking of this as I went into it. I was like, man, I think I might have toured, aside from you and maybe Super Chick, I don't know if I've toured with more bands over and over and over and over than Hawk Nelson. If nothing more at the very like touring world, I was definitely out with you guys. So I have several stories of tours with you, but I don't want to go into it's not about me. It's about you. It's about having you here. But that being said, do you remember any tours?
I've actually This is one of my favorite tour stories with you, and this was post Hawk Nelson.
Oh,
I was
oh, ooh.
gonna take a stab at just going out on my own with a couple buddies, and so we put a tour together. You're laughing because I think you might already know the story. And I don't know if it's my favorite story, but it's definitely the most memorable one.
Okay.
We played
That
a
that whole
show.
tour,
I
I'm
don't
not
even
just
know
gonna say
where.
it, Jason, I'm gonna say that whole tour was rough. That was
It was rough.
it was sandpaper applied
I was
to open
trying to
wounds.
get back on my feet, and when you're just finished touring in a bus for like 8 years,
Yes.
going back to like a van and a trailer, you're like, this is
Yes.
hard. And like, oh, there's 30 people at the show.
That would have been a good one. That was
Yeah.
one of the better ones.
Anyways, I recall doing a show together, and it was being particularly hard.
Yeah.
And me and my band drove to the hotel that was like 45 miles away. We were we were exhausted. We don't know where we were.
No.
It was just a bad, bad night. And
It was
I
a
went to the
rough.
hotel to check in,
Yep.
and like, name please. I'm like, I don't know, try Jason Dunn.
Yeah.
Is there any other name? I'm like, oh gosh,
Nope.
here we go. I'm like,
Here we go.
I don't know. I like gave the manager's name.
Pooh
Know
Bear
anything else? I'm like,
Wiggums.
I was like, Jonah Sorrentino. I knew
Pupperton
that wasn't gonna work, but I'm like,
Pupperton McGuff. Just
and
you're
then
making up
I
things.
just got so clocked in. I'm like, because we were on tour with Humble Tip and
Yes.
what's the other
DJ
guy's name?
P
Dog
Dog.
something P Dog.
DJ P
But
Dog.
but
Which
they were new friends, so I didn't know their real names.
right. So you would
So I was
refer
like,
to them.
Mister. I just referred to him as Mister Tip, and that kind of broke. I kind of broke the ice a little bit. And they ever
No,
started
no, no.
laughing. That felt a little
You're
bit
not saying
better.
the whole thing. You're not saying that. You would say Mr. Tip and Sir Dog. That's how you
Yeah,
would
yeah.
refer to
So
them. Sir Dog and
then
Mr. Tip.
we kind of had a good laugh about that, and then that kind of made us feel a little bit better.
Yeah,
Eventually, we got into our hotel, but
absolutely. Absolutely. That's all you remember is the hotel experience? That's it?
yeah, it turned out it was under Mister Dog. That's why.
The
Try 3 Gs. I don't know.
was it really? It was under Mr. Dog? Under
No,
Mr. D Dog?
I don't remember, but we got in.
Yeah, that whole tour, it started off promising. That's the problem. We were sold false hopes out the gate. That's why I remember the first show was we flew into somewhere in New Hampshire, which I never played New Hampshire. Like New England, never a good market, not great for events, and somehow or another they convinced about 100 something people to come out to this event. It was cold, it was snowing. I'm like, okay, I'll take 100 something people in a high school gym, you know, in New Hampshire. That's a good win. And then from there,
Went from good to not great. Yeah.
I remember distinctly the army base. I remember that one where the kids were just kind of running.
See, I've clearly blocked it out of my mind. I don't remember any of these things.
So there was an army base, and I had actually played there before.
Is that in
Um,
Virginia?
that sounds right, maybe around
Yeah,
there.
because I remember I played there a few times as well.
Yeah, it was an army base where they had money delegated for the kids. Like it was like they could throw shows and basically pay for it because kids on the base needed stuff to do. But I remember because it was in like the ecumenical chapel, this was what always killed me, is that basically they had divided up all the cabinet space as Catholic storage and Protestant storage. And they would be like
Well,
right next to
yeah.
each other. And I just was like, what is going on? And the kids were fine, but I mean, they clearly were just there because they had nothing else to do. You know what I mean? And it was kinda like a chapel kinda thing.
Here's what's weird about my brain, man.
Okay,
Like,
you don't
I
remember
don't
any of
remember
that.
that show at all, but
I
I can
do.
tell you who the promoter was. Jeff
Okay,
Bourgeois. That was his
okay.
name.
See, I can't remember the part. I just remember he was like a good guy on the
Great
base that
guy.
was, like, trying to do stuff for the kids and just,
Yep.
he just I mean, these are typical. This is a long conversation I had with John last week about, playing events that weren't necessarily gonna feed your ego, but generally the people behind them always had good hearts, so you always were, like, balancing. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember another one we did. I feel like we did a halftime show. Does that sound right? Did we do a halftime show in New Jersey?
Yeah, yeah, Super Bowl 43.
We did the halftime show, not the actual halftime show, but the church's halftime show with my man Eric. He was a youth pastor in South Jersey, and that was like really last second. And I basically remember that one because like it was actually pretty good, but we were, clearly had a very short amount of
Yeah, I don't
time.
remember any of this, man. The post-Hawk era was hard for me, so I
Okay.
kind of blocked most of it out. But
Okay. Well, hey, listen, we're gonna do some therapy. We're gonna do some
thank you.
some regression therapy, and maybe The joy is in the journey, bro. Maybe it was never about the
Right.
shows, but the friends we made along the way.
There
Maybe
you go,
that's what
like
it was
Mr.
about.
Tip.
Mr. Tip and Mr. Dog. But it's great to hear from you. We started texting back and forth. You reached out, and you have a great announcement. You're heading back on the road. I mean, that's incredible.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, I just got another text right now saying that
Oh,
inclement weather is coming and you're probably not gonna make your flight. So, I just changed my flight twice today to make sure I can get to Nashville in time, but
okay.
I'm a little nervous, but I will get there. It's just
I mean, this
cutting
is
into
kind of,
rehearsal time.
is this really any different than back in the day? I mean, anything could go left, right? And the domino effect.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, man, I'm going out with Seventh Day Slumber,
Okay.
Nate Parrish, and Magdalene Rose.
Okay.
And yeah, like yourself, I've known Joseph and the Seventh Day guys forever.
Yes.
I mean, not as long as you, of course, but
Yeah. I got you by a
they've been
couple
going
years.
for it ever since, man, and that's
They,
pretty incredible.
there's three things that are constant in the world: death, taxes, and Seventh Day Slumber still touring. And props to
Exactly.
them for still holding it down. I know they are, it almost was like a rite of passage back in the day. Like, had you done a tour with Seven Day Slumber yet? You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
I think everybody could, they are the Kevin Bacon, 7 degrees of separation to everybody in the
Yeah,
music
I was about
industry.
to say that, and
Yeah.
I was talking to Joe the other day, and
Mhm.
I think we did a tour. I think you were on that tour as well.
Yep.
Was it
Absolutely.
the X tour or whatever it was?
Yes. There was
And
something. There was so much obsession with Extreme X, you know what
yeah,
I
oh
mean? Back
yeah,
in the day, like
so
extreme
relevant,
tour of
so relevant.
extremeness of the X factor, taking
I
back the
just
youth, fire, power. Yeah, there was a lot of that.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I
we
just
were,
remember Seventh Day open played right before us. They were like direct support,
yeah,
and they were given like a 20-minute set or something, but they would
yeah.
go for like almost an hour, and Joe would just preach. And we'd be side stage. And I remember Teresa Davis like losing her mind over Joseph talking on stage. And it was I just that's all I remember with that tour as well. Falling Up. Where
Yep.
are they at these days?
Where are they? I had a
I
long
think
conversation. I had a conversation with the youth pastor at my church, and he that was one of the first things he said was, "Where is Falling Up right now?" And
Jesse's still in the woods somewhere, man,
he
writing
said,
bangers. He just left one day. He's like, hey, I'm going in for a walk, and never came back. And then
he did.
resurfaced with like this big beard. And like, hey, I just wrote like 8 albums under a new
See, I didn't
pen
know
name.
that. I
Oh
just
yeah.
remember on that tour, if it's the same tour I'm thinking of, they were always sick. Like, they were constantly getting, like, colds and flus, which, I mean, it's typical of the tour life. Like, one person gets it, everybody gets it. You're stuck in a van. You're not eating well. You're not sleeping well. So, but I just remember, like, I think it was probably Jamie called them falling apart because they were just
Yeah.
constantly they were just constantly trying to get,
Yeah.
and they had, like, 8 guys in the band. You know what I mean? They had the guy with the DJ. He was super cool. I love those guys. I mean, they were just like sweet Oregon dudes that were just happy to rock and do music,
Yeah.
and you know, the camaraderie I think from those bands back then, like between all of us, in my opinion, was just like we're all kind of stuck in the same situation. We're all trying to make the best of
Yeah.
it, and we're hoping that the next show is a little better than the last one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, they're one of those bands, like, I kinda didn't forget about, but, like, they were just falling up. They just always just we played together all the time because we
All
had
the
the same
time.
manager, but
Yep.
then I didn't realize how good they were till afterwards, like, "Hey, they're actually a pretty sick band," like,
Yeah.
no pun intended, sick,
Yes.
but
I see what you
sorry.
did there. What I do remember though is that what was the lead singer? What is that? Jesse?
Jesse.
Jesse.
Jesse
He
Rabori,
wrote
yeah.
he wrote really abstract lyrics. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he wrote always great choruses, but very abstract, content in the lyrics. And I feel like he did one of them, or maybe both of them, did like a remix for me,
Okay.
and it was one of my tracks, and they remixed the song and they sang on it, and and I had to go and transcribe the lyrics, so I'm transcribing the lyrics, and I think I finally just asked the question I've been wanting to ask. I'm like, hey man, like, so what does any of this mean?
Right. Yeah,
I'm a
that's
lyric guy, you know what I mean? Like, I want to know, I want to know what you're trying to say. And I remember him just kind of basically like, yeah, I don't really know either. Like, it just kind of sounded cool, And I was
it's
like,
like an
respect.
Oasis thing, you just gotta sing it.
Yeah, some of us are Tom York. We just put the
It's just like a
sentences
champagne
together.
supernova in the sky, you
Yeah,
just
I
gotta
mean,
write it.
it's what you think it is. But I always laugh
Right.
because Tooth and Nail would put Bible verses underneath their song
That's a
titles
good save.
to
It's a
be
good
like
save.
to be
Dude,
like
Ephesians 4:13. Come on.
be like, clearly this is about the second coming of Christ,
Yeah.
and if you can't see that, well, clearly you're not reading your Bible.
Yeah, you need to get your heart right.
Yeah, get your heart right. Anyway, we just let the world in on way too many secrets right there, but it's okay. The Band-Aid's off, right?
That's right.
But you guys, you would always write pretty straight up songs. I mean, that's kind of like the would you say the pop punk aesthetic was to write,
Yeah.
you
You
know,
just gotta kinda just write you have to write from what the fan's perspective is. At
really?
least I find that.
That was your thought process.
Yeah, like, what does a kid need to hear about? Like, we write about dads not being present in our lives, and we all had dads in our lives. That was a
Yeah.
little bit tricky, and
You're
also got
like
a little people took it as personal and like, "Dude, okay, hold on. Do you remember the fan Norma?
Norma.
You would know her. She was like
Okay.
a fan. She would go to everywhere."
Okay.
And I only remembered her because I was telling my wife because I just took my family with me on this trip, and so they don't know this side of their dad and husband.
Right.
This is they have no idea.
It's
They
a
didn't know like
reveal.
people were showing up. So she was like, "Tell me something like about the crazy fans like you had like
They
back
were
in the day."
there. That's for sure.
So I like we had a lot of drives. So I was like just kind of thinking, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this Norma girl."
Yeah.
So this this kind of connects with what we are talking about. But like we were encouraged to like, do you remember Zanga?
Yeah, Zanga, the website?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, where
the
you put a
pre
blog on a Zanga page.
social media or whatever.
Correct.
So we were encouraged by management to get a Zanga page. So we all had our own little Zangas, and I didn't know what to do. And so we'd like upload pictures, and I would just make up these goofy stories about
Right.
nothing. And they were
Nothing.
clearly not real.
No.
Like I think I was in front of a wall of like the Sahara Desert with like Egyptian pyramids. I'm like, hey, I just on a mission trip to Egypt, and like, ha, like
Yeah.
wasn't legit. Like
Start
everyone
off
that
with a
was normal would be like,
little
he's
lie never hurt nobody.
but like it was clearly I was clearly joking.
The tongue is firmly in the cheek, okay? How do you
Yeah.
not know this? Right, yeah,
But then I
they don't
expanded the
know.
story. Every day this story expanded, and then I talked about how I'd, like, swim across the Nile River to visit my dad who was in prison or something stupid like that. Like,
Ah.
it was clearly not real
Well,
to me.
to you,
Exactly,
to
and
you
then
and you alone, it was
the
not
next
real.
show, this sweet girl, Norma, who came everywhere with her dad, they would drive, like, hundreds of miles to see shows, and she finally found her connection with me. She's like, "Yeah," she's like, "I can relate to your story." I'm like, "What story?" She's like, my brother's been in prison for like 5 years. And I was like, oh no. So I had to live this lie that my dad was in prison. And she came to like
You kept it
50 shows.
going?
Huh?
What, you kept it going? You
Well,
didn't, like
I didn't know how to like tell her because she had just confided in me like the things that she was dealing with. And I'm like, so I like, oh, she's here. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing okay. And I had to like lie to like so she wouldn't get upset. And then I think one day she just figured it out because she never showed up again.
well, wherever you are,
Sorry,
Norma,
Norma.
we wanna apologize post problems, but,
Yeah.
I can relate to that. I've actually now so I started doing a thing on Tuesdays I call Too Many Questions Tuesdays, and I've actually been getting a lot of traction on
Why do
TikTok.
you have that website?
Honestly, it's really just to keep me, like, doing things every day because otherwise I'll
Does
just
it bring you joy?
sometimes it
Is it
brings
too
me
many
anger.
questions?
Sometimes it brings me a little anger and frustration because I get some traction on Instagram, but I get a lot of traction on TikTok. And ironically, a couple people were like have had beef with me over certain things at certain shows. We're talking stretching back close to 15 years ago, maybe longer. Like, and you're at a point now where you're kind of like, man, I don't even remember that show. I vaguely remember it, but like whatever you thought I said, I don't think I said, but you thought I said that. So like I'm having to make amends in the year
Yeah.
2025
I'm
for
sorry for what I said when I was 28 years old. My
right,
bad.
right. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. It's been funny to look backwards and be like, okay, well, here we are. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Please forgive me. What can I do to make this better? You know what I mean? But even then, it's not really enough. But anyway, that being said, I lost track of where we're at. You're heading out of the road on Monday. Is the family coming with you for this trip? Or are you going solo
I'm
dolo?
bringing my son Ryan.
Okay, how old is he?
Boy trip. He's 8.
Okay,
And
that's actually pretty awesome.
yeah. Like I'm really like I it's weird, man. Like your perspective on life changes when you get married with kids and stuff. So like
Totally.
I don't know if I really want to go. Like that's a long time. Like I'm
Right,
gonna bring him.
right.
So
It's a dad
he's
trip.
gonna live on the road with me and the band and just experience a little
Dadtivities.
piece of what his dad was like when he was a kid.
Yeah.
I think it'll be
He'll
fun.
remember forever. He will remember forever, ever, ever, ever.
Exactly.
Okay. Are you bringing is the band coming? You have a band? Because I
So
remember the last tour you and I did, this again years back, it was just you and a drummer.
yeah, so This all came to be, last summer. I played a festival in
Okay.
Minnesota called
Okay.
Rural Fest, which I'm going back this summer, which is gonna be epic.
Well, yeah, sure.
Um, I
You
ran
betcha.
into Joseph and
Yeah.
Sonny from POD, like, all these guys that I knew from back in the day, and
Right.
it was just like it's like we hadn't missed a day. It was
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah.
And so we were chatting afterwards, and Joe's like, "Dude, man, we should totally go on tours. We should tour together again." And you
Yes.
know when you like run in, you're like, "Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
an
we should go
industry
and step
thing.
in sometime." And then you're like, "Yeah, yeah," and then you're like, "Okay, that's it." And you just don't think it's gonna
That will
actually
never
happen.
happen. Yeah.
Well, he hit me up like a week later. He shot me a text. He's like, "Dude, I'm serious.
He's a
Let's make
go-getter.
this happen."
He's a go-getter.
Yeah, and I was like, "Well, realistically, like I work at a church. I have a family.
Yeah.
Touring is not really in the cards for me right
No.
now."
No, it's not.
He's like, "Dude, you can have my band." I was like, "That would be fun to like play like a full rock show with a band. Like, yeah, that would be great." I'm like,
Yeah.
again,
Yep.
I've kind of got commitments, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay, I'll tell you what if we give you 2 spots on our bus?"
Okay.
I was like, "No driving?" I'm like, "All right, I'll do it." So
Man.
that's how it transpired.
Okay. How many dates?
They're right now, I think we're at 10 dates. They're trying to
Okay, it's
fill
not bad.
12.
A little
So,
solid
yeah.
little get the rust off, get the
Yeah,
dust
but there's
off.
no days off.
Oh, of course not. Why would there
So
be?
I don't know. I hope Old Faithful will be faithful.
Oh, are all the city towns, I should say all the towns under 50,000 people in population? Or under 20,000?
Most
What are we
likely
talking
so.
here? Most
Yeah.
likely.
I
Okay.
think well, you know, the usual, what's the Oswego, Illinois? That's a staple
Oswego?
in the Christian music industry, you know?
Yes. Okay.
Lancaster, Ohio,
Okay. Yep.
Paris,
Good
Illinois, which
Midwestern.
I don't believe I've ever been to.
Where is it?
Paris,
Paris.
Illinois.
Okay. Yeah, that's you got me on that one.
Yeah. Bluntstown, Florida. I don't know where that is.
Bluntstown.
Yeah,
Bluntstown, Florida. I've been here my whole life. I don't even know where that is. I'm looking that up as we speak.
because 'cause I'm
Bluntstown.
curious as well.
Bluntstown. I can tell you
I'm
whether
picturing near, what's Destin. That's where I'm picturing.
Oh yeah. Okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna let you know a little secret. You wanna know the secret?
Hit me.
Anything west of Tallahassee in Florida, which is our state capital, we don't even count. Like you're in Alabama, right?
Alright.
And this is solidly Alabama.
Okay. Yeah,
You
you're
are
right on
directly
the cusp.
west of Tallahassee. Lovely place, great area, great beaches, but you know what? We don't count that. You know what I mean? The rest of
Okay.
Florida, we don't count it. We don't count it. So you tell them hi, and you can tell
Well,
them they
you
can.
live in Cuba though, don't you? Sorry.
I feel
Can you
like it
are you
sometimes.
do you need a translator for this? Sorry.
Clearly. Yes, we are definitely South Florida. That is well, we've changed a bit. I mean, we've gotten people from the West Coast coming here. The Midwest always used to come here. New Yorkers, absolutely. Certainly the Caribbean, but we are the biggest mix of everything I've ever seen before.
Yeah,
So
you're full of Canadians as well.
we do actually. I work with a Canadian. Okay, he's the other pastor on staff.
Oh,
He is.
man.
He is. I threaten to have him deported all the time,
As
constantly,
you should, yeah.
and
Wait, so are
never
you like
worked.
the lead pastor?
No, definitely not.
I was like, that there's no way that would work.
No. That would not work. That would be chaos, wouldn't it? That would be just, Mountain Dew jokes and
Yeah.
we get nothing done. Actually, I do I am what's called a connections pastor. So I'm actually over
Yes.
a big majority of our volunteers. So a lot of my
Yes. Dude,
world is
I
like,
know the connection pastor. I've been
yeah.
on staff for like almost 8 years.
So there you go. We just want to do life together, man. Me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What?
just quit though, so yeah, the connection pastor left, like, "Oh, I'm out."
So you have a disconnections pastor, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
Got it. I respect that. Well, there's one behind you. They're going to take your job. So you got nothing to get back to,
That's
man.
right.
You better hope this tour works out, homie.
Yeah, you're telling me
That's how we
live
did it, man.
myself in
That's how we
South
did it back in the
Florida.
day. We bet the farm. We go after it. But uh, you know, I want to shift real quick because I want to ask you some questions from an artistic standpoint because my middle son has gotten really into punk music.
Okay.
I would say
Wait,
out
how
of
many
all,
kids do you have now?
I still have three. I have
Oh, 3. Yeah,
I have an
same.
18-year-old, a 15-year-old, and 10-year-old. But my middle son has, really gotten into music, producing, making music,
Nice.
playing the drums. He got his first electric guitar, blah blah blah. But he really loves old school punk, hardcore, some pop punk, but I think like he's kind of been solidly in like the 70s and the 80s.
Cool.
And I think about how many, you toured with MXPX of all bands, like that's like such an OG punk band. And, would you say your sound was pop punk? Would you say that would be a good
No,
No.
no, we weren't.
No.
Uh, in looking back, like, I was the only one that was into that style of music.
Really?
Yeah, no one else like, they were all, like, kinda into, like, Switchfoot and, like, kinda like
I didn't
rock
know this.
bands, and so, like, our styles kind of had to kind of converge, you know what I mean? And
Okay.
so, like, I was always like, I don't know, I have a new album coming out, and, like, you'll hear me in all the songs because it's exactly how I would picture the songs to go.
Okay.
But when it came artistically to, like, writing songs as Hawk Nelson or with Hawk Nelson, I'm I'm an easygoing, nice Canadian
You
kid.
are.
So I was like,
You really
"Hey,
are.
here's a song idea," and I had an idea in my head, but then, like, the drums would not be what I picture in my head.
Yeah.
But rather than like, "Hey, this is what I'm hearing," I'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." Because confrontation is, "Oh, I don't wanna tell 'em what I'm thinking thinking because that's too offensive." And that was my entire life for, like, 15 years.
It's like, I would really like to do this, but if you don't want to do it, I totally understand. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
it's
not a
fine.
big deal. But
If you don't like the
secretly,
song, I'll just
I
go
really
rewrite it.
like
Or
it if
what
you
should I
would.
do?
But I'm gonna
Yeah.
seethe and be a boiling cauldron of frustration on the other side that you don't get to see
Yeah, until
because
I rage quit and leave the band.
until I rage quit.
Yeah,
Let's hold this beach ball under the water as long as possible because surely it's not going to come flying back up.
yeah. I'll sleep and it'll just disappear one day.
It's I just love you guys and that's all that matters and also it'd be really good if you could just do my ideas 100% because that as a
Yeah,
front man I have a little bit of a need for attention, right? I mean
yeah,
that's what the front man has. It's we either hate attention. That's front men either hate attention and they were forced into it, or they desperately crave attention and then don't like it when they get it, or they desperately need attention and it will never be enough. Would you say that's a good
yeah,
example of most front men?
yeah.
Okay.
I like the attention when needed.
When I
Like,
want it on my terms.
I have a job to do. I'm gonna go on stage. I want
Yeah.
people to enjoy this night. But
Yeah.
when we're done for the night and I'm
We're
on the
done.
bus or whatever, please don't come in the door and say your
Yeah.
youth group wants to meet me.
Yeah. It's in the last name, Dunn, Dunn,
Yeah,
done, as in no
yeah.
more.
Clock in, clock out.
Yeah. But the
Yeah,
reality is you never are quite done. You always have to kind of, you don't have to, but you should. I mean, they're the ones that are paying your salary to an extent. But yeah, the line of what the boundaries are is always hard to figure out, right?
yeah. Because you don't want to also come across as a jerk. So if
Yeah.
you tell some kid to beat it, then you're like the worst guy in the world.
But you're also the nice guy that tries to accommodate, so you're going to do it, right?
Yep.
And what could go wrong, right?
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. So, anyways,
But it's good to see you, man.
yeah, I forget what we were talking about now.
Well, anyway, about
I just
punk music,
unfurled a ton there.
punk music. I want to continue
Oh
to
yeah.
help him.
Who does he
Most of
listen
what
to?
he likes the Misfits.
Okay.
We were listening to Sick of It All a couple nights
Wow.
ago.
Okay.
Who's some other ones? Man, I'm blanking. Half the time I'm like, I know the band, which is weird because
Like
like I hung
Social
out with punk kids.
Distortion.
Social Distortion, that was one of them.
Yep.
I'm spacing.
The Clash. I mean, the
The
Clash, the
Clash.
Ramones, like all the classics, right?
Yeah, I don't know if like to him, I think the Ramones and the Clash are a little more, I don't say
The
mainstream.
more rock.
He would like them, not like them or something like that. But
Yeah, he doesn't like melodies. Okay, I got you.
well, like I mean, it's 3 chords and play harder, play faster. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
right.
that's it's the perfect music for angsty teenagers. You know what I mean? That's what
Yeah.
it's always been. But where would you help me? So would you say your tastes are pop punk or your tastes are
Yeah.
like old school punk? Okay.
Yeah, dude, like, I mean, the first song I learned on the guitar was "When I Come Around" by Green Day.
Okay.
So,
There you
like,
go.
Green Day, Blink, Goldfinger's always been my favorite band, even
Okay. Of
MXPX back in the day.
course.
What's this, your podcast, what's it rated right now?
Time wise? Or
No, I mean, like, is it family friendly?
I guess it depends on the family, I guess. Why are you about to pull the lid off? What are we doing here?
No, the dog was just humping my arm,
Oh, well
and I
that, I
just
might need to edit that or I might
okay.
actually might highlight that. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't know, this is our dog, and
He's
I
a little
kinda don't like him, but he l clearly likes me.
clearly or maybe he's
So, yeah.
just going to miss you in a few days.
You love when someone asks the question, "Is this family friendly?" You're like, "Oh gosh, what's he about to say?"
Which type of family? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Well, I actually I actually have to cut this off in a few minutes, man. This is my other dadtivities is that they're delivering my stove pretty soon. So, like, we've talked a lot about dadtivities over the last couple days in our texting world.
It's
And
true.
you were like, hey, I can't do the podcast at this time because I got to pick my kids up. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do the podcast because I got to pick my kids up. And then I'm like, well, maybe I could schedule. No, I got to be on the field trip. Maybe we could do it this time. No, I can't because I got a stove being returned. You're like, yeah, I know. Me too. I got to get my
No, I'm
car
going to get my
fixed.
oil changed right after this. True story.
Dadtivities. I mean,
I could have did it during gymnastics last night. I had an hour to myself, but
did you see yourself at this point in your life? Did you see here this point where you're at? Did you
oh
see it
yeah, this
happening?
this was like honestly, man, this was
It's the
something I'd
goal.
always dreamed of.
That's awesome.
I always wanted to be a dad.
That's it.
I wanted 2 kids. I ended up with 3, but they were
Okay.
a 2-for-1 deal.
Okay. Well,
So
respect.
yeah,
Um, I'm gonna ask you something serious because I know, I listened to a podcast you did a little while back, and you had talked about how through many of your years through Hawk Nelson, you felt like you were spiritually just going through the motions, like that it was not real to you, or it was, kind of like what was expected, or you were maybe pushed to the front of the line, obviously from a youth group kid to touring and massive stages, massive platforms, massive amount of people. But you kind of said that your faith became more real after you left the industry. So did I quote you correctly on that?
yeah. You said that better than anybody. And no, and I mean that. I think because you've been there, you understand how the industry works.
Right.
And when you just said getting pushed to the front of the line, I'm like, man, that actually you nailed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was a youth group kid. I was a born and bred in the church. My parents got radically saved when I was about 5 years old, and there was no other option. That was all I knew. And so, growing up in the youth group, being the worship band, and then
Right.
going on the road to play big stages and big tours, touring with guys like yourself.
Well, your stage got bigger than mine. I'll say this. I said we were obviously running buddies for quite a while, but then I just remember there was a big switch right around the time you guys were in the movie, and then next thing I know, you're parachuting in to the festival, and that's when I'm like, oh, they're gone. Like I can't
That's it.
no longer will I be hanging with the home. We used to call you the hobbits. We're no longer hanging with the hobbits anymore. They're gone. They're out of the trajectory. And I noticed, things kind of went up and up and up, and then out of nowhere, I was like, oh man, he's done, you know,
Never.
but never done. But you had said that your faith became real after the industry or after
Yeah. So
kind of walking away.
it was before the term deconstruction was even a thing, right?
Sure,
But
sure,
I had many questions about faith and God and spirituality that I was never getting the real answer for. Even
sure.
growing up in my own home, any questions, it was like, "Oh, you just gotta trust God." Like that's the
Yeah, that's
cliche
never
Sunday
good.
school answer. Just
Yeah,
give it
never
to
the
the
good
Lord, you
answer.
know?
Just pray
And
through it.
so because there was not actually a real answer, any questions I had, ironically, the guy with the answers for me was Jonathan Steingard,
That's
of all people.
who
And
famously has departed from
yeah,
the faith.
and
You know,
it's but that's I feel so bad for John because he took my job, but it's a high pressure job.
right,
When you're the front man of a Christian band that is fairly successful,
right,
there's a lot of pressure to answer these questions that everybody has.
right,
But if you're not equipped for those questions
right,
and you're just kind of end up spitballing or
right,
forming answers in your own mind at nighttime, like, oh, if they ask that again, what am I going to say?
right,
Without any actual theological
right,
education,
right.
it's you end up just burning yourself out.
Yeah,
Especially if you're a nice guy that doesn't want to offend anybody.
right. You're like, I'm just from Canada and I just want to play some
Yeah.
music and I have the faith background, but my depth may not
Yeah.
be quite there. And this is what I always was hilarious was that if I was going to be a pastor or a speaker or whatever, I would hopefully have some credentials or I would have, gone up the ladder or I would have like worked for that platform, so to speak. And yet what I always noticed was all you had to have was a record deal and all of a sudden you were the spokesman. Like it didn't no one
Yeah.
ever bothered to question your credentials or like, I say that
Dude.
broad sense.
And
And
that is why the Christian music industry is falling apart.
right, right.
That in itself right there.
Right. But who's to blame here? Is it the industry? Is it the people that platform people? Is it the fans for putting too much, faith? Is it just the nature of that music and ministry by nature are
Yeah.
opposed to each other? There's a
All of
lot
it.
of links in that chain that where you could
All
lay
of it's to
blame, or you
blame.
could really lay blame on all of it. Was that um, it's a weird animal. You know what I mean? Like I got into it leaving, pastoring. So I don't know if I was necessarily ill equipped to be in that position.
Yeah.
But where I was ill equipped was to see the other side of things, which is the dark side, which is the competition, the double living, the lack of accountability, the taking money and turning faith into a bottom line, profit
Yeah.
loss scheme. You know what I
No,
mean?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, and I was a part of a lot of that, and it's just
Right.
like,
Right.
and at the end of the day, you're like, "Why am I even doing this? This is so
Right.
stupid."
Right.
And it just felt icky even for someone that was questioning their faith at that time, right?
Sure.
And so I left.
Yeah.
I rage quit. I sent this massive email to the band, to the team, and I was like, "Hey, just so you know, I'm done." We finished up our 5th album, and, yeah, that was it. I left, and they're like, "Don't say none of this to anybody. Let's just keep this in our team." It's
Right.
like, fair enough. I respect that, and, I think the part that really got me was when I was like, being the nice Canadian guy, I was like, "Well, guys, just go on without me." Just trying to be the nice guy,
Yeah, here, take it.
thinking they'd be like, "We can't do this." Like, dude, you created this band. You asked us to be in this band. Like, we can't
Right.
do that. But rather they're like, "Oh yeah, okay. We've
Right.
actually already asked. We've already
Right.
asked so and so and so and so and so and so to take
Right.
your play." I'm like,
Right.
"Get out of here!" Like that one hurt.
Yeah,
So that left me angry
my experience with Canadians is they are incredibly accommodating, nice, polite, thoughtful until they're not. And then
until they're
it's like
not. Yeah.
until they're not, and then they're like, they can be like, we're gonna come invade. We're gonna start with Minnesota. Yeah, so I hear what you're saying. And you're right. Well, here's what I am so glad to say is that on the other side of that the Lord has worked in your life, that you have a very spirited dog, you know what I mean? Like just that you're in a good spot.
Um, I left Hawk and my marriage had ended. I was married briefly, as I'm sure you recall.
Yep.
And yeah, I had lost everything. I ended up moving back into my bedroom I lived in when I was like a 15-year-old kid.
Ah, yeesh.
And there's nothing more humiliating or humbling or even embarrassing than like asking your parents if you can crash at their house for 6 months because you have
Sure.
no money,
Sure.
you have no job, and you're just kind of like needing to start over, not knowing how to start over.
Yeah.
Everything you were known for, your identity just stripped from you. And I was just like, I was a shell of a person.
Wow.
And my mom, being the woman she is, the Christian, strong Christian woman she was like, "You just got to trust in God, but you got to get back to church."
There
And
it
I was like,
is.
"I'm so sick of that answer, mom. Like, that is like I did that my whole life. It is not working."
Did not work.
And so I just shut that down. And then around this same time, I'd been hanging out with this girl who is now my wife. She came to visit. It was around Easter, and my mom invited her to church because she knew she wouldn't say no. So we ended up going to church with my parents and my wife, Neve, who had no like Christian upbringing. She grew up in Ireland
Hmm.
and traditionally was, a Catholic, so practiced Catholicism and whatever.
Sure.
So it was more out of religion and tradition than relationship. But during this service, they did an altar call, which I was so familiar with because I grew up with that kind
Yeah,
of
you've been
stuff.
around them 1,000 times.
Yeah, and we all closed our eyes, and I'll be honest, I did the peek to see if anyone put their hand up, which nobody did. And then it was at that moment she just kind of dug her elbow into my rib cage, and she's like, "Hey," she's like, "Would you go to the front with me?"
Look at that.
And I was like, "Dang!" I was like, and it was that moment that it became real for me. Like I think for the first time in my whole life.
It's incredible.
And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go to the front with you." And I
That's
walked to the
incredible.
front. We marched to the front, and we prayed together. And I knew in that moment that prayer wasn't just for her; it was for me too. And yeah, we ended up ripping over to a bookstore, a local bookstore. We bought Bibles, and I really reconnected with Christ for like I think the first time in a long
It's
time,
amazing.
and it was real. Dude, like I was working in like a hardware store, like at a lumber yard, because I was trying to do anything to like make money.
Yeah.
And this old guy, Tom, who I worked with, he was like this retired dude, but he worked there so he could get the store discount. He's one of those guys. And he's like, "You're one of those Jesus guys, aren't you?" And I was like, I just laughed. I'm like, "What makes you say that?" He's like, "I don't know, man." He's like, "You're just different from everybody else in this place." And I was like, "Yeah, Tom, like I am one of those Jesus guys." He's like,
Let's
"I
go.
knew it." He's like, I actually asked Jesus into my heart when I was 10 years old because the lady at the camp said if I did, I'd get a free ice cream cone. So I was like, good for you, Tom.
That's amazing.
So I don't know. It was just
Well,
it's been a really cool story, man.
I'm
Um,
so happy
I
for you,
have
man.
I have no desire to get back into the Christian music industry.
Yeah.
It's tainted, as you already know, but I do want people to hear my story, and I do want people to hear my music.
Love it.
As long as I
Love it.
don't somehow get sucked into it again, I'm happy to just keep playing music for God and for myself and for the fans,
Fe
you
It
know?
feels really pure, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear
No
you, man.
strings attached.
So go ahead and make this announcement here. You sent me a track along with John. I can't speak for John, but I love the track you sent to me. You said you're working on revamping some of your old stuff. I can't wait to drop a verse on it. I love the track, and this is the well-awaited reunion that never happened. So,
I reached out to a few friends,
okay.
and I'm excited.
Well, I can't wait to go play that army base again and finally get full
Uh,
redemption. So,
we need to make it happen. Jeff, if you're watching this, bring us back. We want Humble Tip and Mr. Dog on
Tip
it
and the
as well.
dog. All right. Well, I love you, man. It's so great to hear from
Love you
you.
too.
I hope your day is just filled with snow that slowly dries. Maybe, I don't know. I hope your dog has a great day. I hope your whole family is incredible. I will be in touch. We'll be in touch. All right.
I love it. Love you,
Peace,
dude.
big
I'll
dog. Have
talk
a
to you
great
later.
day. See ya.
Okay, see you, man.